Well, I'm going down to the down to Woolworths. Good to get out. I've been inside all yesterday, and this self-quarantine stuff's not much fun. I don't know how many people can actually hack that, and I don't know how it's going to work, to be quite frank. I've got my doubts. Yeah, I'm wondering how people are going to cope with this forced isolation, this voluntary quarantining, because I think it could lead to some mental health issues. People, we're social animals, so if we're actually restricted from our interacting with other people. Now, I just voted in the council election. There's only 2 papers, and you've got to put the 1 square for number 1. That's it. Nothing like Senate, thank God. They didn't have my address right. We've got my old address. I was added about 3 years ago. It's in exactly the same division, so it doesn't really matter. So that's all done. I'm surprised that they went ahead with it, given all the coronavirus craziness that's happening. But yeah, there's a few people pre-polling. I don't think many people want to actually go on the actual day. There'll be too many people around. It'll be pretty. It's a much better way of doing it. Probably postal, if I'd thought about it, would have been better still. But anyway, so there's all the signs. Actually, no one approached me with how to vote cards. Not like state or federal elections. It's pretty slack that way. And the weather's pretty changed. There was a lot of spit and stuff. And that gets me out of the house, I guess. But yeah, I mean, no one's even canvassed the place. I've never heard anything from anyone. But I've got to say, pretty convenient. Only about a block away from here. So it's a very convenient place to live. My place just over there. So not far at all. Just wish these lights had changed. Oh, this is slow. There's a lot of traffic, surprising amount of traffic. I thought that might have thinned out with coronavirus, because the guy online was pointing out that in America the traffic had dropped quite a bit since people have been asked to stay at home. So, but up here it seems to be pretty busy. We're in major lockdown territory nowadays, so except for one glaring omission to that, which took place on Tuesday for me. That's when I went and actually voted in the council election, and they haven't called that off. Anastasia Palaszczuk, the Premier, regards that as a vital service, and therefore an essential service that cannot be postponed. A council election. Get real, Anastasia. You're living in cloud cuckoo land. Seriously, I mean, this is politicians. They've got their heads up their asses, and I think that sort of crap. The level of self-importance with them is amazing. And by the way, while the private sector's taken a huge hit because of all these restrictions, public servants and of course the politicians all get the same pay as usual. They feel none of the pain, and isn't that typical? So it's very uneven what's taking place. I'm grateful I can still go shopping. They've got to allow that, obviously. I don't want people starving to death. At least I hope they don't. Maybe it's the Greens probably wouldn't mind that. They seem to dislike people. They prefer trees to people, so they'd probably enjoy that agenda. But for normal people, no, I don't think that would be the case. So yeah, so I've just been isolating myself, and it's tough. Luckily I bought the TV, the big TV, so I've actually been watching a bit, especially at night. And as long as I still get my grog, I guess that sort of helps. If the power went off, it'd be a pain. It's been actually good weather to stay home. It's been very overcast up here of recent days, so that's been okay. So it could be worse, but it's a little miserable. I would like to go back to PJs, but I don't know when it's going to open again. I think Donald Trump, as usual, has got his finger on the pulse. He wants to get America back working soon after Easter, and I think that is what we should all be aiming for, to start easing the restrictions after about 4 weeks to 6 weeks. I think it will do a lot of good in that time, but we don't have to be draconian about it. Apparently school holidays are coordinating with this anyway, so that's good. I mean, even if the kids are unlikely to get coronavirus, they can carry it, I guess. So I can see the logic in that. But yeah, but we just can't shut down society. It's not the Black Plague. Let's get it in perspective. It's something to be taken seriously, but it's not as bad as a lot of people in the press would make out. So just got to get a balance in what's going on and be sensible. And I'm taking precautions. I don't get close to people, and I make sure I wash my hands when I get back from shopping, for instance. Just a sensible thing to do, but I normally do that anyway. But I think it's just the way to go. It's just crazy to take any stupid risks. But yeah, it's pretty quiet out here. There's a few cars on the road, but it's only a little after 2, so it's a quiet time of the day anyway. But Bob Jane's still going, and there was someone cleaning downstairs from my flat, so there's a bit of activity around. But like I say, it's a bit of a shame that the pub's closed, but I hope they'll be able to reopen soon. And of course the share market's still a bit of a basket case. Oh well, there you go. The shelves are quite empty, more empty than I've seen previously, so things are rather than getting better, they're getting worse from what I can gather, so that's not a good sign. And at the grog shop, the same thing. I couldn't get the usual stuff I get on special. That had all been sold out, so stocks are down. I got a couple of bottles of red, so it's okay, but and I couldn't get the peanuts, the normal brand peanuts at the supermarket. I had to get the mixed nuts, which cost more, but they're different. It's okay, I don't mind having something different. But a couple of bucks extra, but at least got a bit of variety, so I'm not really complaining. But they're doing the social distancing thing with the checkout too. You've got to stay clear of people. So it seems to be the topic of conversation with everybody. And yeah, I think the press has done a great job of creating a feeling of fear. I mean, sometimes it's good not to be too slack, but it's a balancing act like most things. You don't want people freaking out, but you don't want them to be too totally slack as well. And I mean, there's always drop kicks that are never going to do what's required, unfortunately. But I think the biggest stuff up was these idiots in New South Wales allowing cruise ship people to be dispersed from a cruise ship. That was just the level of stupidity at government level at times. You really wonder, how could they be that? Anyway, my cousin's supposed to come here. Both my cousins, late this month. They've had to cancel that trip, and they got reimbursed. They got reimbursed the original tickets and given a freebie ticket for the future as well. I don't know how the operator afforded that, but they're just coming up from Melbourne, so I don't know why any cruise ship seems to be basically a non-starter now, even if it's not international. So that seems a bit strange to me, but they're doing it with interstate travel as well. I think that might be a bit over the top. And apparently there was ridiculous queue. There was a queue about 10 kilometres long for trucks to get through from the Gold Coast down to New South Wales or vice versa. So this is the sort of crap that's starting to happen, and this has major economic effects, and we can't keep doing this for any length. I don't know why we've got those restrictions interstate anyway. I think that's crazy. I think maybe it's just the egos of premiers, because it's Australia. It's not Queensland, it's not New South Wales, it's not Victoria, it is Australia. We're all Australians, so once you're in the country, I mean, you should be able to travel freely. I think that's insane. I'm all for the social distancing stuff, but since when did we become a group of states rather than a nation? That's what it seems like. I think that's pretty sus. I think it might be unconstitutional, I'm not sure, but it doesn't sound right, and it's certainly not good for the economy, because deliveries are going to be slowed right down, and it's already getting hard to get stuff up here now. You can imagine we're at the end of the road, so God knows how they're going to get produce up here. It's going to be like the floods again, I think. It looks like the floods anyway. We've had a fair bit of rain. It's quite misty before, at least it's cleared. But yeah, good to get out of the flat. But yeah, it's luckily, like I said, I've got plenty to watch. I've got a huge archive of TV shows and films and things, so I've got plenty of ways to amuse myself. But it is nice to get out, and you know, it's not like this is a party city all the time. It's a place, you know, like this. I do miss the pub because it's a social outlet, and I haven't been to the pub since I've come back. So it's been about 5 months since I've been to the PJ's. Long time between drinks, metaphorically and literally. Look at that cloud cover, very low. There's no drought here. Please consider subscribing to my channel if you think there's anything there of use to you, or entertainment or whatever. And either do that or give me a thumbs up, or if you're feeling really energetic, do both. That'd be great. But please don't ignore me. That's the worst thing you can do on YouTube, is be ignored.